Okay, it took me a long time to get this fragrance, and I did not want to wait as long as I waited for CoSTUME National Homme Parfum. I ordered it from Europe, paid a lot of money for shipping, and now I have my hands on CoSTUME National Secret Woods. Have you guys heard about this one? Have you smelled it? Do you wear it? Let me know. Put a comment down. But today, I'm talking about CoSTUME National Secret Woods, and I'm going to let you know all about this one coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian, and yes, today I'm talking about CoSTUME National Secret Woods. What are your thoughts about this house? Do you know this house? You know, it's been a little challenging getting their fragrances here in the States lately. I don't know what happened, but I think it has something to do with Barney's going out of business, because that's where I first discovered this house, at Barney's, and I discovered their fragrances there. Of course, it's a small Italian fashion house, which does some great fragrances. I mean, some of their fragrances are really great. Very, you know, niche-y rather than designer, because these are not the kind of fragrances you would see at the Macy's you know, department store counter. These are definitely niche-y, a little more upper scale, unique kind of concoctions and things like that. So I find them to be kind of like designer niche, I should say. I shouldn't really say that, but I'm going to say it because, as I said, I would not find these kind of fragrances at places like Macy's, where you know, it's next to Sauvage or Bleu de Chanel or something. They're definitely on the unique side, but I don't know what's going on with the brand. As I said, I ordered this from Europe. Took me a long time to get it. Plus, it cost me about $35 for shipping. So it was costly, and $35 is not that much, but then again, if you're paying for about 120 euros for a fragrance, you're paying an extra 35 euros, I said dollar, 35 euros for shipping, which is like almost a third of the price, if not a third of the price. Either way though, I'll let you know about this fragrance, but before I do, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below, and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So yeah, this is CoSTUME National Secret Woods. I wanted to let you guys know all about it as soon as I got my hands on it, and as I said, I did not want to wait about a year and a half like I did for CoSTUME National Homme Parfum. And I just launched a video for that fragrance. If you haven't caught that review, go catch it. I compare it to the original CoSTUME National Homme, and then of course the latest version is CoSTUME National Homme Parfum. But this is a fragrance created by Julien Rasquinet. It's a 2021 launch, and this is the second, I believe this is the second fragrance he did. He did I for CoSTUME National, and now we have Secret Woods. And I think the way these fragrances are distinguished is this is a unisex or a feminine bottle. This is a masculine bottle. I think at least that's what it is. And this one actually came out with another fragrance. It was a duo. It was I for the more darker, more intense fragrance, and J, created by Fannibal, for the more fresh, clean, citrusy, citrus floral, soapy fragrance. Both of them are really great. And this one's great too. I'm enjoying it. And I would say that this is a great designer house for having some really great fragrances. And if you don't know it, definitely check out their fragrances. Their fragrances, as I said, are not your typical designer fragrances, even though they're, you know, a design house, a fashion house. And they do some great work. A lot of the fragrances are created by Dominique Ropion. He's one of my favorite perfumers. He's done some great fragrances like CoSTUME National Homme, Soul is a great one, and many other fragrances. But today it's all about Secret Woods. CoSTUME National Secret Woods launched in 2021. Perfumer is Julien Rasquinet. I don't have a price size because it's not selling here in the States. It is concentration eau de parfum, and according to the CoSTUME National website, it's 18% concentration. And I would call Secret Woods a woody, spicy, leathery fragrance. According to the website, CoSTUME National's website, they call this a fougere. And I'm not sure I would really call this a fougere myself, because it acts more like a woody, spicy leather fragrance. But then again, everybody is different. I experience more woods, spice, and leather altogether. So, Secret Woods features grapefruit, bergamot, Balkan juniper for top notes. Heart notes features nutmeg, saffron, styrax, and finally sandalwood, patchouli, leather, and vetiver in the base notes. So when I'm reading these notes to you, you do realize that I'm not mentioning a lot of warm notes, and also hardly any flowers. I mean, the saffron flower is there, but it's not really the flower, it's the stems in the saffron. So it's not necessarily warm, it's not floral, and it's also very, very woody and very masculine. So that's the kind of experience this is. Again, it's in the masculine bottle, as I said earlier. So it is definitely a masculine. For me, this particular fragrance, in comparison to something like CoSTUME National Homme, this is ultra masculine. Whereas I feel like CoSTUME National Homme can be unisex. This one, I mean, yes, you decide if it's unisex or masculine. But for me, the notes in this particular fragrance scream ultra masculine. So the fragrance starts off with that grapefruit bergamot citrus blast, and the grapefruit, there's some zing. I feel like it works. It does work with lots of woods and vetiver, and you get the, you know, the bite, the spicy zingy bite from that grapefruit, and then of course the bergamot has this juiciness. You experience it along with that Balkan juniper. Balkan juniper, or juniper berries is what I should say, or juniper in general. There's a little bit of a sharp metallic crystallized kind of a quality with that note up top. But this top note section is not necessarily long-lived, because the spiciness and the little warmth there is in this particular fragrance kind of start appearing in the heart notes. Nutmeg, to me, is not anything like cinnamon, cloves, cardamom. It's not necessarily a very distinct smell. It kind of blends in, and it kind of, to me, accentuates things not standing out too much. So that's what it does here with this particular fragrance, with the saffron note, where it has this kind of a spiciness and aromatic quality and lightly leathery aromaticness. And then that little warmth comes in from the Styrax, and the Styrax to me has warmth, and it's also related to the benzoin, so it does have a little bit of a resinous warmth touch to it. But for me, it's not very big. It's not big, because for me, this particular fragrance comes alive, or is mostly about the base notes. What's going on in the base notes kind of overshadows the top and the heart notes for me. So sandalwood is pretty dominant here, and the sandalwood in here is not necessarily the creamy milky type of or variety of sandalwood. It's more dry, dusty, wood shave, you know, sod kind of woods experience. So it does have a lot of that woody presence, and again, it's not necessarily creamy milky where it kind of reminds you of milk or cream and becomes a little gourmand. This is not like that. And then of course here in the base notes also, I get a little bit of a reminder of something like Santal 33, very, very faintly, not necessarily like you're going to say this is a clone of that fragrance. No, it's more very, very like focused. If you focus on the sandalwood or the base notes, you kind of get the hint. And then also in this part of the fragrance, there's a little bit of a you know, spicy cuminy touch that appears as well. And again, once again, very, very faint. But I'm going to move on to the leather and come back to the patchouli. It's very, very leathery here, and it's a beautiful blend together with the sandalwood. Leather and sandalwood play well together, and the leather here is not necessarily the overly pungent, the overly animalic kind of leather. It's a bearable, wearable leather, and it blends beautifully. It's kind of a woody-esque leather as well. It blends beautifully with the sandalwood. And then also, I'm going to talk about the vetiver. The vetiver here appears a lot. You experience it, because sometimes when I was wearing this, I got more vetiver than sandalwood, but most of the time it was the sandalwood dominating over the vetiver, if that makes sense. So you experience the grassy, earthy woodiness from the vetiver. There's a little bit of a damp quality there as well. And it really works in the base notes. And then finally the patchouli. And the patchouli note, I think, is not necessarily as big as the other three notes. And sandalwood, leather, vetiver kind of, as I said, overshadow the patchouli and the rest of the fragrance, but you do experience a little bit of its earthiness, which kind of blends really nicely with the vetiver. But this is an overall a great release. I would have to say I do prefer a little more than a Secret Woods, because this is, for me, just overly woody, and I kind of like a little more of a warmth. I was kind of looking for a little bit more of a warmer experience. It just doesn't go there, and that's kind of why I like this a little more. In the end, this one is, you know, it's the amber, there's a vanillic touches and resinous touches in here. because there's labdanum. There's also leather, and then there's some aromatic notes and spiciness. So I kind of like those kind of fragrances a little more than something like this, because this just is all about woods and nothing but woods. And for me, as I say, there's not a lot of warmth here. It's very, very cool. It's a dark, like a woody forest you're entering. It's also nighttime, so you can't see much. You do smell the air, you know, there's air of woods, lots of woods and earth and things like that, and you experience the coolness. It's not frosty, it's not snowy, anything like that, just a dark, a deep, kind of a woody forest that is come alive in this particular fragrance, Secret Woods. Anyway, those are my thoughts for Secret Woods. I do want to say one more thing. It definitely has great longevity. It has a great lingering power. I wouldn't call this to have something like major projection, major sillage or anything like that. It does have it, but the cloud is not necessarily as big as some other fragrances. But that's not what this fragrance is going for. It's mostly about the experience of this very, very deep, dark, rich, woody, you know, kind of a fragrance. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Secret Woods, the latest fragrance from Costume National. This is not a sponsored video. I bought this fragrance myself. I actually ordered two bottles, so I kind of wanted to justify that very expensive 35 euro shipping fee that I had to pay for this particular fragrance, because it was some kind of a pharmacy that had some fragrances, and that's how I found the fragrance. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on Secret Woods. Have you tried it? Are you curious to try it? Do you enjoy this Costume National brand? If you know what's going on with the brand and their whole USA presence, let me know. Put a comment down. I don't know what's going on, but I mentioned in the last video for Costume National Homme Parfum, they are related to the brand Juice Box. At least this is what I had heard. Are they related to the brand Juice Box? I don't know. That's what I had heard. But if you have any ideas of what's going on, are they going to make a presence back in the States? Please let me know. But let me know if you're a fan of the brand. Let me know if you're curious to try this one. If you haven't tried it, I'd like to find out. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video on Thanksgiving Day. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. And I should say happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys are enjoying your celebrations with family and friends. Have a good one. Goodbye.